What's up? I am SpaceMan Zack. I am a rapper from Dallas, Texas. And it's lit. I make music.
Darkness has fallen.
So my real name is Zach Miller. Um, so for a while I was going by I was rapping under the name Zach Miller, which was a problem because Mac Miller. And so everyone was like, yo, you can't do that. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I was like looking for like a new rap name, but nothing was like sticking very well. And then one day I made a song called Spaceman. And then someone hit me up on Twitter and they were like, yo, you're that Spaceman guy, right? And I was like, hell yeah, I'm Spaceman Zack, let's go. And then ever since then, it's just been Spaceman Zack. So when I was young, I grew up actually in a small town. I'm originally from New York. Um, and so I was like up right next to Canada in a small town with like 1,500 people in it, like super like, I lived across the street from like a farm. Like it was like super country and whatever. And I mean, life was just normal. My family is super big into sports, and so I played sports from like the moment I could walk. um my family, our main things are like baseball and football, and so obviously my dad was like, you're gonna play sports, you're gonna play both of these sports, and blah blah blah. So I did, and I played baseball and football. My life kind of revolved around that kind of stuff until I was like uh probably 12. And then I moved to Texas, and I quit playing baseball, and I was like, I just want to focus on football. And so I played football year round, and then did like training camps in the off season. Like it was like, I was like full fledged. Like I was like, I'm gonna be in the NFL one day. I'm gonna be a professional football player. Like blah blah blah. So I played that in high school. Around when I was 12 too, I started making music, and it was really just like simple. Like I was like super into poetry in school, and like uh, all that kind of like stuff. And I would write poems and stuff like that, and I would show them to like my close friends. And a couple of them were like, yo, why don't you just put like music behind this, like a beat behind it? And so I started doing it, and I was recording like videos of myself rapping. Like it would be like a webcam on the camera, and I would play the beat in the background and rap, and then be like, guys, check out my new song. And I did that for a little while. And then when I was like 14, I quit, or no, not 14, I was like 16, and I quit playing football to focus on music, because I realized like that's what I really wanted to do. And it was still kind of like, I'm just like recording stuff, and I don't really know what I'm doing. It kind of sounds like shit all the time. Like my music was really bad. But I was like, I really want to do it, and like it was like the one thing that like made me feel happy. And then when I was probably like 19 is when I was like, yo, like I gotta get real serious about this, and like punch this in, make this a career if I'm gonna make it a career. Or if not, then I gotta go find something else. But I wanted to make that a career. So like 19 is when I was like, yo, I'm going for it. And then it kind of worked out, and now here we are, and I'm living. They were kind of weird about it at first. Like I said, they were super sports oriented, and like no one in my family had been like a, I call it like a creative, like a artistic person yet. And they liked music, like they love music and shit, but like it was just never something that they did. And so when I was like, hey, I want to make music, they were like, okay, all right, bet, like have fun. And then when I quit playing sports was when it was like weird, because like I was the first one in like the line of my family, like I don't want to play sports anymore. And my dad was like, what? Like what? What are you talking about? Yeah, you're gonna play sports. And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna make music. And they kind of treated it like a hobby for a while, which I don't blame them, because I was like really not. I had no traction or anything like that. Like it was just like me locking myself in a bedroom for hours and like making songs that no one was gonna hear, kind of thing. Um, and then when I got out of high school and I told them I was like, I'm not going to college, I'm gonna be a rapper. They were like, ah, man, I don't know about all that. And I understand it too, because they were just trying to look out, like, hey, you can't just like not make money, And so they were like, oh, we don't know. So they made me go get it, like, they made me like make sure that I was like working, And so I worked like a day job, full time to pay my rent and like my bills and stuff, and then made music at night. And then right around the time where it like kind of started like legitimizing itself, like all of a sudden I had a fan base and like people were really like reaching out to me and like stuff like that, was when they were like, oh, okay, like you're really doing something, like let's push this, And now they're super supportive. But I remember like the first time I was out with my parents and we were at the mall and someone came up to me and they were like, yo, you're SpaceMan Zack. And my mom was like, do you know them? And I was like, no, they just listen to my music. And she was like, what? Like, this is like real? And I was like, yeah, this is what happens now. Like, but it was really cool. So they're really supportive now, and like, I love them to death. I'm super family, like big on family. So growing up, I didn't listen to rap music at all, because like my dad, and I mean, and my mom, that wasn't their style. Like they weren't like super big into that. My dad is super into like 80s bands, like Motley Crue and stuff like that. So he showed me a bunch of that. My mom's super into like 80s, like different stuff, like Depeche Mode and stuff like that. So she would play that around me. And so like growing up, that was like, oh, this is like the coolest music of all time. And I wanted to do that for a minute. And then they wouldn't let me listen to like stuff with like cuss words in it. Like they were like kind of protective. And my cousin, who lives in New York, he's a couple years older than me, and I got an MP3 player, and I like let him have it, or let him take it for a day, and he brought it back to me, and he had downloaded all these like rap songs, and it was like Lil Wayne, Nelly, Eminem, 50 Cent, like all this stuff, and I was like, dude, what is this? And he's like, this is what you're missing, dude. And I was like, this is incredible. So then like from that day on, I was like, I want to be a rapper. Like these people are the coolest people I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh my God. And it was like, I was super big on like I just never seen people carry themselves that way. And it was like, like, this is so different for me. Like I want this, like I want to do this. And so that was where like rap music became like life. So he's 5 years older than me. He was doing the same thing that my cousin was doing about like rap music, with downloading the stuff, and he was downloading like punk rock. Like he showed me like Green Day and like Paramore and Blink-182, and so it was like all this shit that my parents didn't want me to listen to, and I felt like a bad little kid. And I was like, yeah, fuck my parents, I'm cool. I've gone through like a lot of different styles. When I first started rapping, it was like 90s boom bap, like East Coast, like really like super Biggie style, like lyrical, like I'm gonna out rap you all day, like whatever. And I still love that, and I still do that sometimes, because it's like that's where like I started on like rap. But I was really afraid to sing back then, and I love singing. I was really, really afraid to sing, because I was like, my voice is trash and I'm garbage. But I had always wanted to sing. So then like after I did that for a while, and then I started experimenting with like more like trap stuff, like super hard beats, and like, like a little bit of a repetitive chorus, but like it goes super hard, And then I went into like experimenting with like different instrumentations, of like trying to bring in like, instead of just like a bunch of like bass, let's bring in like a piano here, or like something else there. And then obviously I was super into like rock music too, and so I wanted to find a way to like mix everything together. And then that's right when like it kind of started popping off, and I like saw people doing like this. And I mean, like obviously like I'm huge influenced by like Peep and like GBC and all them. And so like I saw them kind of doing this and I was like, that's exactly what I've been trying to like wanting to do. And like they gave like the formula of like, hey, you can do this. You know what I'm saying? And then from that moment, it was just like, now I experiment with that genre, like this new genre that's being created, and I can dive into it a little bit, but then I have to experiment with it to make it like my own, you know, like, cause I don't want to like just copy people. Like I want to like take it and like put my thing on it, you know? And so that really just, it just evolved. And like, it was just like making song after song after song until like finally like my voice finally came through on it, you know? And I think it worked out well. I understand it and I respect it, and like obviously influenced by Lil Peep like a lot. But at the same time, I do want to be my own person, you know? I was influenced, but like I'm not trying to copy him, and I'm trying to make my own thing. So I get it, and it is flattering because like, oh my God, he's a legend, and like he has saved my life with his music on multiple occasions. So like, yeah, I mean, if you can compare that, then like that's pretty cool. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I do sound kind of like him, but like that's because we're in the same genre, in my opinion. It's like I took, you know, inspiration, and I think that happens with a lot of artists, in my opinion. Is like any artist you see has drawn inspiration from people and then like done it their way, you know? And so it's like a you know, give and take thing on that. But I mean, I'm just blessed to have people listening. So Dallas has a very it's like a very unique scene, and we have like a lot of like legends in the city. You know what I'm saying? Like there's people that I've met and like been starstruck that like are not universally famous. They're just like a legend to Dallas, you know? And there's like a lot of city pride. So like a lot of them don't care to be like huge mainstream artists. They're just like, as long as I can put on for my city, like we're cool. And I respect that a lot. Personally, I want to fucking be across the world, but you know, but it's just different. There was not a lot of this genre coming out of Dallas. Lil Lotus is from Dallas. I looked up to him like hella because he was in the hardcore. We have a cool hardcore scene here, like with like metal bands. Like we have a band called Unity Texas from here, and they're the most fire metal band I've ever heard in my entire life. Also Begotten is from here. Shouts out to them. Can't forget anyone, all my friends. But then like, yeah, so there's just not like a lot of like that, like this, or there wasn't when I first started doing it. There wasn't like a lot of this scene in Dallas. So it was, part of it was like alienating because it was like, hey, I'm gonna start doing this when the rest of the city's not doing this. And so like it took a second for like, you know, everyone to be like, oh cool, like he's doing this instead of just like, you know, doing the other stuff, which was fine. I mean, I get it. I totally understand. And then, you know, like there are people, like the cool thing about where I live is so like Dallas is a huge city, obviously, and I live like right outside of it. Well, then Fort Worth is also a huge city, and I live right outside of that. I'm in the middle of them. And then if you go like 20 minutes the other way, there's Denton, which is a University of North Texas's campus. So there's hella rappers out there. And so like Elijah Heaps, I don't know if you know him, he's my homie. We have a bunch of stuff together. I met him through T Aubrey, and he lived in Denton. And so it was like he was doing this kind of music before I was. And so when I met him, it was like early stages of SpaceMan Zack, and he like helped me like grow my sound big, and like, you know, taught me all this stuff about like, you know, like guitars and recording and all this cool stuff. And so it was like, I feel like it was different coming up where I am, but like I wouldn't say it was like harder. Like there was still love, and you know, I have. Luckily, the internet is a crazy thing, and like I have like fans in like Yugoslavia. I don't even know where that is, but like people are listening to me, so that's cool. Like because like of what the internet has done for the music game, I feel like for a long time it was like if you don't make a certain type of music that's coming out of your city, you're never gonna blow up because you're stealing like another city's sound. You have to give credit like where it's due. Like if I was to like make like drill rap, I would have to give credit to Chicago because like they started that, you know, or like something like that, or like, you know, like the East Coast boom bap, what they were doing, you know, like I'd have to give credit to that. But with the internet being such a crazy place, you can make whatever kind of music you want from wherever you want, and then the whole world can hear it. So there's not like you're not localized anymore, you know, which is really cool. So people ask me all the time. I actually don't produce, but I do have friends that like send me beats. So usually when I get a beat pack from my friends, they'll send me like 10 beats, and I like listen to them all, and then from there I will cut out like 7 of them that I don't want, and like they might be a fire beat, it's just not what I'm feeling, and then I'll pick like 3. And what I usually do is I download it to my phone, and I have like a special folder in my phone for like, it's labeled as like possible beats, and like it's just all the beats that I really fuck with right now and might use soon. And when I get in the car to like drive anywhere, I literally just, instead of listening to music, I play those beats, and then like I'll pick one that like I'm like, yo, I really want to do something on this, and I will listen to it for like 6 days in a row without doing anything else, just listening to the beat. And then after that, I start like singing along with no words, and I just like hum out like and like I'll find like a cool melody, and I'm like, that sounds sick, and then I'll take the voice memos on my phone, and my phone is filled with a bunch of voice memos of me like mumbling like melodies, like so if you heard it, you'd probably be like, what is this guy doing? He's a psycho. But after I hear that, like, you know, and I like find that melody, that's when I go back and, you know, like I'll add lyrics. A lot of times too, I'll come up with like lyrics that I think are really cool, and like very like whether emotional or there's something I'm feeling really strongly at the time, and I come up with like a lyric for it, and I'll just write it down. I have another folder that is like just random lyrics, and so like while I'm writing the song, if I feel like, oh, this lyric that I wrote like a long time ago or like a month ago that's in this folder like fits in this song, then I can just go and pull it, you know. Because sometimes like I'll just be walking around and like something will happen to me, and I'm like, oh, that would be a really cool lyric, you know, like it just inspires me at the moment. But it's a really simple creative process. It's just like I focus on melody first, and then I plug in the lyrics afterwards. Sometimes I have a couple songs that I actually made up the lyrics as I was recording the song, and then I would do like 4 lines at a time and like come up with the lyrics as I'm going, and then like write the next 4 lyrics and go, and then write the next 4 lyrics and go, and like I think that's like how Lil Wayne does it, so that's cool. He's like my favorite in the world. I love him. But yeah. About like how much we release, we actually did that on purpose. Our plan together was like, hey, in our opinion, like people who are like coming up, our biggest problem is that they don't release enough music. And so like I'll find a song from somebody and I'm like, yo, this is super tight, and then I'll go to their page and there's only 2 songs by them, and I'm like, well, dude, if you had 7 songs, I would have listened to all 7 of them, you know what I'm saying? Also, just the more you release, the more people see your name, and I think flooding that like gets people's attention, because like if I see someone on my timeline once, I can skip it, but like if I see them on my
Darkness has
timeline
fallen.
3 times in a week, that third time I'm gonna be like, all right, what is this? And I'm gonna click on it and find something that I like. Um, about T Aubrey and our relationship, we met in 2016. I was still in high school. I was 18 years old, and I was playing a show, and I was like a nobody back then. It was before I was SpaceMan Zack. Anyway, so T Aubrey, we met at a show. I had actually paid to get on the show. Like I paid them to let me perform. I used to do that all the time. I've spent so much money to try to get on shows before I like had a name. So I paid to get on the show, and then they actually put me on like on stage first, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm opening the show, whatever. Makes sense. Well, then they put me on as the door was being opened. So like, as I'm doing my first song, people are walking in and buying tickets to the show. So like, I'm literally performing for like 3 to 4 people this whole set. And T Aubrey was one of the people in the audience. He was actually there with another artist that he was working with that was on the show. And so he told me straight up too, he'll tell you, like, if you ever ask, he's like, yeah, bro, Zach's music was not that good. But he goes, he was only performing for 4 people and he was getting lit like it was a fucking stadium show. So he came up to me after my set and he was like, yo, I really liked your stage presence. And I was like, thank you, man. That means a lot. I had no idea who, like, he had a name in the city for like videos already, but I was very disconnected from that because I was just like, I'm just like a high school kid that like is bragging to his friends that he's on a rap show. Like, it's cool. And so I was like, okay, like this has happened 1,000 times. We're gonna follow each other, and then we're never gonna talk, and it's just gonna be like a building moment, you know? So we followed each other, and then we followed each other for like 6 months before we ever talked again. And like every once in a while would like each other's tweets about music, whatever. And then I came out with a mixtape at the time, which is deleted now. It's gone. You'll never find it. But I came out with a mixtape and I sent it to him, and I was like, yo, you obviously know about music, like let me get your thoughts on this. And then he replied to me and he was like, this is not good. And I was like, what? He's like, it's not he was like, it's not good, but like you have potential, like if you work on it. And I was like, oh, well, that's really cool, like the constructive criticism. And I was like, all right, bet. So then we went back to not talking, and then like another couple months went by and I released like another mini project, and I sent it to him, and he was like, yo, this one's way better. And I was like, oh, cool. And so he hit me up and was like, yo, I haven't shot a music video in like a couple weeks and I'm kind of just fiending to like do something creative. He was like, if you can meet me out by my place, I'll just shoot you a video. And I was like, oh, sick. Like I had never gotten like a well done video made before. So we went out and we shot this video, which is also deleted now. But a lot of my old stuff is not on the internet anymore. But we shot this video and it was like super just like, you know, normal, like a videographer working with an artist, like nothing there. And then we just started like slowly talking more and more and like shooting more videos together because he was the only like I really liked his work and he like wanted to give me a chance. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let's fucking go. And then as like we started working more, we just became like really, really close friends. And so then it just became like, oh, let's like work together all the time. And then probably like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, we decided that he was actually going to be my manager. So he's super smart with like business stuff, and I'm really not. I just know how to make music. And so so he manages me actually. So he's my videographer and my co-manager, because I also have another manager named Cameron Almasi from California. And so they like both manage me, and then he shoots my videos. So like, and we're best friends. Like we hang out on the side and like vibe and like drink beers sometimes. So it's really cool that you said that because like I'm so proud of the fact that we do that kind of cinematic stuff. Um, I'm super into film and I love film, and like one day I want to do some acting roles like in like movies. And then I know T Aubrey wants to direct movies one day. Um, so like we're very like honed in on that together. Um, Basically our whole thought process was just like, like I don't think that I think there's more you can do with music videos than just making it a music video. You know what I'm saying? You can almost make a music video like a mini film, which is like what we were trying to do with like Drugs in the Rain, um, and so storyboarding these things is just like really, if we know that we want to shoot for a song, like for Drugs in the Rain example,
Darkness has
we knew we wanted to
fallen.
shoot for that song for a long time. We actually just linked up and we kind of both came with a paper filled with our ideas like separately, and then compared the ideas, and like I was like, when I listen to this song and when I made it, this is what I see in my head. And then he's like, hey, when I listen to this song, this is what I see in my head. And then we compare them and either pick one that we like or try to merge them. Like the Drugs in the Rain, for example, like that intro thing was mainly like, T Aubrey's idea of like, this would be like, this would be like a really cool, like, it makes sense like why like you'd be buying these things, because it's kind of what the song is about, like you're making me crazy, so I have to go through all this shit, to deal with it. So he's like, it would make sense for all this stuff, and it like makes the cool little film. And then like my idea for the video in itself was like, I wanted to make it very sci-fi, with the contrasting colors and like the weird shit in the sky, like like all that stuff. And so like we took what I did for the second, or my idea for the second half, and then I let him run with shit, because that man is the most talented person I've ever met visually in my entire life. And so I basically was like, yo, I really like imagine these bright colors, and like I told him too, I was like, bro, there should be a scene where it pans up to the sky and there's like 3 planets in the sky, like that would be so sick. And he's like, bro, I can make that happen, just like give me a minute. And then he storyboards a lot of it. Most of the videos that you see are really like, that's T Aubrey's mind. Like most of the time, like I'll have like inputs on like, hey, I want to do like this kind of concept, or like this, theme or whatever. But like 99% of that is all him, and I won't take credit for it because that man is insane. And I think that's why we work so well together, because we are okay with bouncing ideas off of each other. And like I'll pitch an idea to him and he's like, that's stupid as fuck, and I'm like, all right, bet, thanks for telling me before I went out and did it, like. So like we just have that cool like dynamic together, and it's really fun. In like general terms, it's really just what I'm feeling at the time. Some songs just like at certain times like feel more important to me. Lately we've been starting to like actually schedule drops, and so like we'll schedule out like 6 months in advance of like, and like actually upload them to like Spotify like 6 months before they come out. And so like I just know the date that they're gonna come out. But it's really just like, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like a mix of like my emotional connection to the song, and then also like, yo, I think this song will do really well right here. Like I have a song called All Night, and it's like that like poppy vibe or whatever. And I released it like right before, well, Corona hit, but it was right before like what should have been spring break. And so my thought process was like, yo, this poppy song, people are about to listen to this on like the boat at the beach, like, and blast it while they're drinking Coronas, you know what I'm saying? Because it like fits that vibe. Whereas instead of dropping like the most heartbreaking song ever, that like, if I'm on spring break, dude, I'm not trying to listen to like you cry, like. So like it's a mix of a lot of things, but I would say mostly it's like my emotional connection to the song. Like I'm really feeling this one today, and like I want this to come out. So growing up, I've dealt with, you know, the long list of the mental health. Um, and my family has too, you know, like it like runs in the family. You know, like from like depression to like bipolar disorders to like, you know, anger issues, like things like that, ADHD, OCDs, things like that. I have super fucking terrible anxiety that's like makes me throw up and like give up on the day. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I've dealt with that like my whole life. And originally, when I started making music, it was a different style. Like I wasn't like singing the grungy way that I do now, but I was still talking about most of that stuff because it was just my way of like venting everything out. Because when I was younger, like I actually have a song coming out, and I say it. When I was younger, they tried taking me to therapy. Like my parents like tried to take me to like, you know, see like a therapist, and I fucking hated it like so bad. And so I was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna make music about it. And like that's my way to vent it out in like a healthy way. um so like it was always like a thing like that. And then on top of that, you know, like a huge problem with, you know, like a huge struggle that the world faces right now, and I've faced it too, is addiction problems are very, you know, heavy. um I've had my fair share. I've been addicted to pills, I've been addicted to cocaine, I've been addicted to alcohol, I've been addicted to like everything, to where I had to like go into like full on like withdrawals of everything, you know. And I've slowed down on most of my like drug habits. I still drink alcohol, um, but I did slow down on like I got completely sober from like I was really bad on Xanax for a while. Like I completely cut that. I was really bad on cocaine for a while, and I I want to say I cut that, but like every once in a while, if I'm at a party, I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't do, like I was doing like a hella cocaine, and it's not like that. You know, so like I've been there and I've struggled with it, and I know how it feels to struggle with it like really badly, and it's fucking hard. So like, a lot of my things that I write, even to this day, are about the feelings that I had when I was going through that stuff, because I know that like if there's someone going through it right now, it really helps to like hear someone else talking about it and be like, okay, like I'm not the only one going through this. I can say that about a lot of artists, like Peep especially. You know, like when I was going through like really bad phases of shit, I would listen to some of his songs and hear the things he was saying, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm not the only person in the world who's going through this, and that helps a lot. So like that's kind of my goal with like talking about the things that I talk about, is like, hey, you're not alone, and it's okay, you can push through it, you know what I'm saying? So you never really fully get used to it. um I know when I first hit like some milestones, like I remember when I first hit my first 100,000 plays on a song, I cried like a baby. Um, when I first hit my first million, I was like in tears for like a day and a half. Like it was like, oh my God, what is happening? Um, I feel like I've learned to like receive it better now. Like I'm like, oh, like Coke in the Bathroom just hit 2 million on Spotify like a week ago, and I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I didn't cry this time, but you kind of just like learn to like, I feel like the thing that I've learned is, back then I used to be like, oh my God, this is incredible, this is the best thing that's ever happened in my entire life. Now I think I have more of a mentality where I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible and I'm so thankful, but how can I reach the next one? And it makes me almost want to push harder, because it's like, it's stunning to me that like Coke in the Bathroom hit 2 million on Spotify. That's incredible. I never honestly imagined ever hitting that like in my life, you know, like whatever. But now I'm like, well, how can I make it hit 3 million? You know, like what can I do to like push this even further, you know, and like hit that next milestone and start crying again. Like I want that. So I don't think in my person, I don't think it's changed me, other than I think it's made me work harder. I think so. Speaking from like the artist standpoint, I think a lot of that is a pressure mentally, because I felt it. Like all of a sudden, this song obviously blew up. Well, now I'm like, oh my god, I have to top it, and if I don't, then I'm like, I've lost and I burned out. Like, and then it's like so much to put on yourself that you start just making mistakes and like tweaking out on shit. It's like choking. Like when you're playing a video game and you're doing really well, and then at the last minute you like suck ass because you're like in your head. So the biggest thing is you kind of just have to like learn to like disconnect yourself from that in a way that you're like, okay, yes, this did amazing, but this next thing is a whole new thing. So like I need to leave that behind and I need to go to the next thing and like not overthink yourself. And it's really hard to do, but in no way should anyone like feel bad for me, because like this is my job. Like this is what I signed up for, but it's just something that like I mean I didn't realize it until it started happening, and it's like it's just, I think it makes or breaks an artist. And I think that if you can compete with yourself, I think competing with yourself is more important than competing with others. Because if you can be like, yo, this is incredible, now I'm gonna do better and not get in my head about it, then like you're fucking solid. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't, and a lot of people can't do it, and it's a very hard thing to do. And I mean, I'm still working at it. Like I've had moments where like I'll like start writing a song and then I get in my head like this isn't as good as Coke at the Bathroom, and I'm like fuck, and I trash the song, and then like 3 days later I'm like, yo, that song wasn't bad at all, I was just in my head. It's just like you just have to learn. So in like short term, I kind of just want to keep on the track that I'm on right now in short term of like, I have a really good like grind going, I think. Making music, making it myself happy by making music. I'd love to be playing shows, but fucking the world is over. I just recently got the contract with Twitch. I'm an official Twitch partner, so shouts out to them. So I want to keep building that and see like where that goes. As far as long term, man, in like 10 years, in 10 years I'll be 32. Damn, I'll be fucking old as hell. No, for me, I think, I mean, what I really want, I want to play stadiums, man. I want to be like on that like Drake, Uzi type status, you know what I'm saying? Like I want to be big as fuck. But at the same time, I would count my blessings, and I'll take like as far as this music thing will take me, and I won't ever feel bad about it. I think if I blow up, I want to be able to like, this sounds corny and I hate saying it, but like, I feel like it's like a cliche answer, but like, I just want to make a difference. And so like, I want to get to a point where I'm so like, I'm that big and I can like really help like bring about changes with things, and like advocate for like mental health and like addiction issues and like, fucking like start a charity and like do all this kind of thing. And like, I really want to work towards that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I want to be big as fuck. in like layman's terms, like I just want to be fucking big. I have a surprise coming in October. That's what I'm saying right now. I have a surprise in October, and then I am gonna release my my second album in January. It's like 90% done. Has a title which I cannot release right now, but it'll be coming in January. As of right now, that's when we have it planned to drop. It'll be like exactly a year after the Wicked album is released. So very excited. I've been working my fucking ass off on it. So I hope everyone likes it. But yeah. And that would be really cool. I look up to them a lot. Obviously they inspired me a lot. My main people, right? I have like a list of like my favorite like my dream collabs. I want to collab with Lil Uzi Vert. I want to collab with Future. I want to collab with Billy Joel, the lead singer from Green Day, Billy Joe. And then I want to collab with Elton John really bad. And I had someone else in there that I really wanted. Fuck. Lil Wayne. Like super bad. But I mean, there's a lot more artists. I just can't name them off top that I want to collab with. Shout out to Twitch. Shout out to T Aubrey, Cameron. Shouts out to Jay, my engineer and one of my best friends, amazing rapper. If y'all don't know him, check him out, J4Y. Shout out to Vlad Diamond. Shout out to Elijah Heaps. Shouts out to my mom and dad. We made it. Shouts out to my dog Glacier. Thank you so much. Do you want me I'm SpaceMan Zack?